What's good, everybody? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Junk. The comedian and actress Monique was recently in Miami enjoying herself, and on December the 5th, she asked her followers, who were mostly female, I would assume the majority coming from Black America, if they deserve to be called the word queen. Now, before we kind of get into this story, Monique has faced a lot of adversity and criticism from the Black social media world for calling out certain African American women, or Black women in general, for wearing bonnets outside, especially at the airports and not looking as presentable as they could. So this is also somewhat of a risky area for her. Not that she cares, but it is controversial as to what she's going to be talking about. And she says this post here that I want to read here. Day music! Do we qualify to give ourselves the title of queen, or are we queens in training? I love us for real, beautiful sisters. And I want to talk about this. You know, back in the 1940s and 50s, and even before that time, in the Black church, we would call, Black women sister, Black woman brother, Black man brother, and then that kind of, came out. Some whites do that, but when we talk about a Black man, that brother or that sister. So that's lingo that we've always used. But then when you talk about some of the, kind of pro-Black community and, especially in the New York East Coast area, nations of 5% nation and guys like that, and some of the, the Hoteppers and things like that. A lot of Black women started to be called queen and Black men started to be called king because it was to push up the person's confidence in themselves, to let them know where they came from. You come from a lineage of kings and queens instead of believing that you're from this lineage of slaves, or you're from the lineage of no history. So that was used as a tool by the pro-Black community to kind of encourage people. What happened as a downfall, according to some, is that we started referring to everybody as king and queen when they didn't deserve it. So you have, a lot of ladies out there talking about they're a queen, and you have some guys out there in the Black community talking about, they're a king. But in order for you to be called a king or a queen, you have to be measured up against someone who was actually that. Some of our families in Africa could have been kings and queens, but then a lot of us come from, families of peasantry, drunks, or carpenters or something like that. But see, what she said is this. When she looked at who is a queen, she looked up at, Queen Makeba, who was a civil rights activist and songwriter, Queen Nefertiti, and Queen Candace. And she noticed that there are three things, all right? Number one, they have an unconditional love for their people, fearlessness and ability to fight no matter the circumstances, okay? And then they have a certain amount of compassion, right? Now, this had nothing to do with, submission or dealing with Black men. I'm not dealing with that at all, because I want to deal with what she's talking about. And the main idea is that you have to do something to be considered a queen. And you have had to reach a certain level of status and respect in your society to qualify for the title. Okay? And see, Monique is 53. She knows that this generation is a microwave generation. People want things for nothing. People want things because they're them. They've just showed up. You have a lot of ladies that are wanting to be businesswomen. You have a lot of ladies that want to be wives, that believe that they have, they deserve this and that from a man. But whatever it is, what do you do to qualify for the title? You see? Because you have to do something to qualify for it. All right? Anything you do in life, what are you, a doctor? Okay, you're a doctor. How do you qualify a doctor? He would have had to go to undergraduate, if he's in the States, medical school, pass several tests, specialize, an attorney. Well, in order for you to call yourself an attorney, there are certain things that you have to do to qualify. You have to go to law school. Okay? Then most likely pass the bar. Right? If you're a drunkard, what do you have to do to qualify for that? You have to be drinking all the time and be out there drinking and being drunk and not being productive. So you have to qualify for whatever it is that you want to be, whether it's positive or negative connotation. But you cannot say that, you know what, I'm an engineer. And there's no engineering body that recognizes you. You know? Or I'm a high value woman to a man. And yet, you know, when Christmas comes around, you ain't got no gifts from no high value guy. You know what I'm saying? You got there kind of lonely and things like that. So I'm using that to say that, you know, you have to have a qualification to do that. And I'm glad she said this, even though she wasn't talking about men at all in relationships. Many ladies want to be called something today, and there's no work or effort. And this is why people don't take folks serious. You know, the black community wants to always, and you have these guys that, they're doctor this, they're doctor that. There's no evidence of them ever going to school. Happens a lot in the black church. Reverend doctor this, Reverend doctor whatever. What school did you go to? Paper mill, printing school, PhD, school of Leroy Jackson and catfish nuggets. All right? It's not accredited. And for whatever you want to be as a woman in black society or a man, you have to have put in the work. Otherwise, you're that person in training. And I can respect it. You don't get no crown just because you feel like it. You have to have evidence of wearing a crown. You have to have evidence of being productive. You have to have evidence of being a leader. You have to have evidence of being a woman that is compassionate about her people, according to Monique, because mine will be different. But there's the effort. And I think that what the problem is, what we're seeing right now is so many women want all of this and this and that, and there's no effort behind what you're talking about. And you can, and again, you can believe whatever you want to believe, whatever you believe that you deserve. You can believe that. It doesn't mean that you're going to get it. Okay? Doesn't mean you're going to get it. You can do whatever you want. It doesn't mean that you're going to get it. You have to prove yourself to people and whatever you want to do. If you want to be with a man, prove yourself. Job, prove yourself. Accrediting body, prove yourself. Everything is about work. And I'm glad that Monique is telling young ladies this, because if a man does it, he's going to get, it's going to be a problem. But guys, what do you think? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Junk. I really appreciate you for all that you do. Subscribe, hit the bell. Check out the first comment at the top. And as you know, the buffoonery remains at all-time high. I'm out.